Major damage at schools in the Nashville area as well, including Donaldson Christian Academy, which took a direct hit. But in 6 months' time, they've replaced the roof, turf, utility poles, exterior walls, and reconfigured the high school. But there's still more to be done. News Channel 5's Kyle Horan is live in East Nashville. Kyle, you can still see tornado damage 6 months later?
Yeah, you can see the evidence right here. Still, some of the businesses have not been fixed up yet, but some of those businesses now are on the rebound.
That is the backdrop of the bar with no roof, just open sky.
At the Basement East, the sound of music gives way to the sound of construction.
No, this is what we do. No matter what, we will be back.
One of the owners of the business, Dave Brown, met to show us around today.
Everything inside had to be scrapped, taken down to bare studs. Yeah, then the concrete goes up, then the roof goes on, the AC units. The bar sustained some damage, so we'll have to rebuild the bar.
Notable aspects of the building survived.
And the pole of rock stickers survived.
Such as this metal support beam.
You cannot stop rock and roll.
And who can forget this?
The mural was still standing.
The iconic I Believe in Nashville sign out front.
And it was a very inspiring symbol for people to rally around.
Construction is on schedule for a mid-October or early November opening date.
We're thankful that we were able to salvage quite a bit.
Good news there.
What about the private homeowners?
Another area of Nashville, though.
What about those who are renters in the area?
Good news is scarce.
You have some houses that still have the blue tarps on them.
Pastor Curtis Bryan of Greater Heights Missionary Baptist Church has been watching the community and its limited recovery.
But in North Nashville, there are a lot of renters. So landlords have been disadvantaged. And that means that those who rent are doubly disadvantaged. They have no place to live. The landlords can't get their properties back up, get them restored, then they're still at the same place.
The damage represents homes lost, people without a place in the area. Bryant says they've not made the progress they should.
The red tape, unfortunately, has been the red line preventing them from getting their homes restored.
But some are still hopeful when the disasters of 2020 are in the past.
We'll be back and be better than ever.
There are just so many stories to tell from that day, not just here in Nashville, but across Tennessee. To see some more of those stories, head on over to our website, newschannel5.com. Reporting live, Kyle Horan, News Channel 5.
Kyle, thank you. Our Storm 5 weather team was with you every step of the way that night, starting late on March 2nd and all the way into March 3rd. Bree, Heather, this is a night that's just going to stay with all of us for a very long time.
Say traumatic, terrifying.
Yeah.
10 total tornadoes in the News Channel 5 area, 7 of those in Middle Tennessee, and some of them set records. The Davidson County tornado, the one that went through Nashville, not just the strength of that tornado, but the duration, the amount of time it was on the ground.
Absolutely. What's significant about that tornado is how it was able to maintain its strength in the middle of the night even. So take a look at this map here. It shows you the exact track of where that EF3 tornado went through from Davidson, Wilson, and into Smith counties. We're going to zoom it in and talk about the different parts of this track here. It actually started in western portions of Davidson County as an EF2 tornado. It actually had that strength as it went across John C. Toon Airport in North Nashville and eventually strengthened into an EF3 tornado as it pushed into East Nashville there. And you saw a couple of pictures there just at John C. Toon alone. It caused $90 million worth of damage. Now, it was able to maintain its strength as an EF3 tornado as it did push into parts of Hermitage and then eventually into Donaldson and Mount Juliet. This is a view of Donaldson in this picture right here, and that's actually an image of what West Wilson Middle School looked like after that tornado eventually went through. Now, as it moved into Lebanon here, it actually lost some of its strength, an EF2 tornado, and then eventually an EF1 as it moved into Smith County. Eventually, 5 people unfortunately lost their lives with this tornado, but it was very strong, staying on the ground for more than 60 miles. It had peak wind strength at 165 miles per hour as well. And something else that's very significant with this storm is the path of it that went through downtown, eerily similar to other tornado paths that had gone through downtown Nashville in recent years. I think people who have lived here for a long time can remember that tornado that went through downtown in April 1998. It's the path that you actually see here in the red. There's also this green path here. This actually happened in 1933, another tornado that went through downtown Nashville. Sadly, a common point that all three of those had over in 5 points, causing damage in East Nashville with all three of those tornadoes. Guys.
Heather, thank you. And News Channel 5 was on the air guiding you through that day for 20 straight hours. We have a look back at that day and the recovery that followed in a special News Channel 5 documentary. It's called Run to Cover. You can find it right now on our website or stream it on Apple Plus, Roku, or Fire TV. Also on our website, resources for those of you still struggling from the impact of what happened. One of those resources, the Tornado Recovery Connection. Give them a call and they will connect you with the best organizations to help with your specific situation.
More help coming to Tennesseans struggling to pay their rent. That's next. Plus,
I started to have tears in my eyes because I was like, wow, this is the reason I chose this institution.
the donation announced this morning that's changing the lives of college students at one school. They work long hours saving lives, but after their shift, dozens of local hospital workers go out to their cars to see smashed windows and property missing.
Cold front arrives tomorrow morning and finally sets the stage for dry skies across our area. We'll take a look at a delightful Labor Day weekend coming up on News Channel 5 at 6.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear says this week will likely be the worst when it comes to COVID-19 deaths. Today, officials announced 10 new deaths, marking the second day in a row that double-digit coronavirus-related deaths have been reported. Beshear says he expects to extend the mask mandate in Kentucky. As of right now, it expires in 1 week.
A Metro agency just received a second round of federal funding to help you rebound. MDHA will soon be able to allocate nearly $8.5 million to help Nashvillians experiencing homelessness due to the pandemic. Nonprofits and local government agencies are able to apply for funding through MDHA, which will then go to help people struggling with things like rent. Those applications are due on the 18th. And from making ends meet to managing the pressure and getting our kids safely back to school, we want to help you. Right now at newschannel5.com/rebound, you can find resources like free tech assistance for virtual learning and help paying your utilities.
Other than the founding of Meharry Medical College, this may be the most important day in that school's history. News Channel 5's Chris Davis shows us how a record-breaking donation was made that may change students' lives forever.
No idea. I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Med students at Meharry
I can't put that into words.
couldn't quite diagnose their emotions.
I started to have tears in my eyes because I was like, wow, this is the reason I chose this institution.
But who has time for bedside manners with an announcement like this?
Each and every medical student currently enrolled at Meharry Medical College will be eligible for a scholarship of up to $100,000.
Former New York Mayor Mike Bloomberg says he's hoping to triage a problem.
The data is clear. More black doctors will mean more black lives saved and more economic opportunity.
In a pre-recorded message, he explained his donation of $34 million to Meharry.
So much is at stake, and the burden of school debt should never stand in the way. That's why I made this gift. America urgently needs more black doctors. We need you.
Mike Bloomberg couldn't come speak here at Meharry today because Meharry wasn't the only one receiving money. 3 other HBCUs also received a combined $100 million in an effort to produce more African American doctors.
As far as I'm concerned, today is the dawn of a new day for the future of minority health.
While the scholarships won't absorb every penny of debt, Asha Cotterill knows from a pretty reliable source what it means to have financial freedom.
My mom actually, I don't think finished paying off her student loans until maybe last year, and she is in her 60s.
And while the emotions are still hard to diagnose,
It made me feel overjoyed. It made me feel confused.
hopefully the impact of this gift won't be.
I am going to push harder than I've ever done before and encourage my colleagues to do the same.
Chris Davis, News Channel 5.
Great news. Dr. Hildreth says this won't just be benefiting medical students. He says any money they're saving from Bloomberg's donation will go towards scholarships for the School of Dentistry.